All right, good morning, and thank you all for being here. This is an exciting day. It's not often that justice occurs so quickly, but yesterday 2 separate courts recognized that our clients, the Santoro family, have a right to their property, at least until they have their day in court. And it is that day in court that is so important. And it's a day that until yesterday our clients were denied. Last week, after filing an action in federal court to prevent the Town of Johnston from using eminent domain to take our clients' property, the Town of Johnston went ahead and named itself the owner of this land, without any notice and without any due process. They simply changed the land record and asked the state court for permission to put money into a court registry. Our clients did not learn of this until after the fact. They were then told that if they did not move all of their belongings from this property, they would be trespassed from their own land. But yesterday the court set things right, ordering the town to rename our clients as owners in federal court and granting the extraordinary remedy of a temporary restraining order. This will prevent the town from taking further action against our clients in the property until we are able to litigate the merits of the case. That the town has no intention of building a municipal complex. It simply wants to stop affordable housing, something that is much needed here and across the United States. Eminent domain is an awesome power, and it must be used carefully. It's considered a last resort for a reason. But here the town has weaponized that power, not to help the public, but to prevent a use it doesn't like. And that's not justice. It's dangerous. And it begs the question that whether or not you know it, your property is for sale. I'd ask you to consider if this was your land and recognize that power should always be tempered by rights and regulations of its people and the Constitution. Yesterday was a win for property rights. And although the fight is not over, our client's property has been returned. And we will fight for their right to continue to keep it. Thank you.
Can you say and spell your name?
Yes, Katie Valois, Kadyvalois. Thank you.
Want me to do that?
Hi, my name is Ralph Santoro. I'm here with my wife Suzanne, my sister Lucille, and my lifelong friend Sal Campagnone. We're the owners of this property. We're a family of builders. We've been building all our lives. It's our passion. We're hoping to construct some apartment homes here that will better the community. Our parents, our fathers together purchased this property back in the 1980s. We have been attempting to utilize the property and construct apartment houses since that point in time. What we're thinking about doing here is we have 31 acres. On the 31 acres, we want to construct 5 buildings. There'll be homes, apartment homes, which will be 252 units. These are homes that are needed for the people who work in Johnston. With all the literature, everything that's coming out these days, talking about the shortage of housing and the crisis we have in the state of Rhode Island, which is verbalized by our own governor, okay, we want to provide affordable homes for people. We visualize professionals, young professionals, starting off on their life, living in these homes until they can move on to their American dream. When we found out that this project was going to be taken from us by eminent domain last Friday, it was like we were physically assaulted. I felt like someone had punched me in my gut. And I'm still traumatized by it. It's something that I hope never happens to anyone else. And it's a right, a property right is our most undeniable right as Americans, right? That's what we did this for. The last several weeks have been really stressful. Okay, we were fortunate. We're hopeful that we can resolve this situation and move forward. The taking of the property has been like a physical assault. We're glad that we're represented by such great counsel, okay, by Pacific Legal Foundation and by Darrow and Everett. I thank you for your time today.
Hi, my name is Sal Campagnone. I'm a general contractor like my father. We're 3rd and 4th generation, and all we did was build all our lives. My father grew up right here on this pond, and he used to go swimming in here and ice skating. This was his playground at that time, and he always loved Johnston and the area. We built hundreds of houses in Johnston, and we probably built thousands all over the state. We need homes, and that's what we're trying to provide. We own a complex of apartments. That's what my father's dream was, and that's what he wanted to put here. Yeah, I mean, for him checking the grass, to checking the light switches, everything had to be perfect, and that's what he wanted. And that's what our dream is, to build a complex here that we can give it to the people. My grandson just became a teacher this year, and he can't afford a $600,000 house, but he can move into one of these apartments, and that's what we're hoping for. Thank you.
Thank you.
Could you say and spell your name for us?
Sal Compagnon, Compagnon.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay.
Can we take any questions?
I was going to ask the lawyer. You had said that the city is not going to act, or town is not going to actually build a police complex. So how do you come by that?
So we believe that they have no intention of building it. There's been no evidence that they are actually interested in that. They said that the mayor came out and actually said that they didn't want this project and that he would use eminent domain before he ever said anything about building a municipal complex. To us, it's pretext. We think that they're just trying to come up with a reason to actually take the property. These cases happen all over the country. It's just something to cover the reason for why he doesn't want the project.
I'm sorry, at the town council that decided to take the property by eminent domain, there was a lot of police presence there inside saying this is basically indicating this was going to happen. So that's why I brought up the question. Yeah. So that seems to you to be just theatrics. Yeah, if you could, please. Thank you.
So my name is Kelly Morris Salvatore. I've been working with the Compagnon Santoro family since the beginning. Last summer they approached me. I was working with the town since last September, meeting with the town planner several times. As you know, we had a meeting in early December. Never was a municipal complex mentioned until January 28th.
Okay.
Never.
And that was like the week of the meeting.
That was, I got word from probably some of you that there was going to be a resolution on the council's agenda the very next day.
All right.
We have literally never been notified. We've never communicated other than through these lawsuits. We've been completely left out of the process, and now my clients are in, we're getting the due process, and we hope that it'll be in federal court where it belongs.
Right. And can I ask what you do for the clients?
I'm the attorney, local attorney.
Local attorney. Okay.
Pacific Legal is co-counsel. So, yes.
Can you explain? I was reading the federal complaint the other day, and it seems like the main part of the argument is that the state law says that the town has to be very upfront with what their intentions are with the property taken by eminent domain. Can you just tell me kind of how that ties into your argument? And it seems like you're arguing the town showed its hand by the mayor saying that he would do everything in his power to fight this back in December.
Right.
In January, he's like, we're going to build all these buildings, right?
Exactly. So in December, he was just saying, we're going to block this. We're going to use all the power of government. He intended to challenge the very law that we were working under, the Low and Moderate Income Housing Act. And then all of a sudden on January 27th, he tweets that he's going to take the property for this municipal complex. It was sudden.
Yeah, an eminent domain, it's powerful, and the reason it's tempered by two things. You have to have a public use, and you have to pay just compensation. But the public use can't be after the fact. You can't take property and then decide what you're going to do with it. You actually have to have a public use first. And that didn't happen here. We believe that the mayor's statements make it clear that he just decided he didn't like this project, and so then he decided he would take it, and then he would figure out what he was going to do with it.
The town dropped off a check in state court last week for $775,000. Is that a fair price for this property?
We do not believe that's a fair price for the property, but we're not at any type of valuation yet. Our argument, first and foremost, is that since there is no public use, the government has no right to take it. So the Salvatore family, Mr. Compagnon, they should be able to build these homes.
Now, in federal court, you mentioned that the temporary restraining order was granted yesterday. I was checking the docket this morning. Do you expect a formal filing this morning or today? I didn't see it in there.
We're hoping in both cases, because there was also a Superior Court case,
Yeah.
which effectively returns the property to the family. We expect both orders to enter today.
Yes.
And that was also a temporary restraining order in state? I'm just trying to
So,
understand.
right. So in Superior Court, the order, which was consented to by the town, effectively returns the property to the family by discharge. That's what that order does.
So I guess I want to better understand the next steps from here now that we've had these developments in both Superior and Federal Court.
Yeah, so in federal court, which we believe, like Kelly said, is the appropriate venue for this, we filed in federal court first. Many courts across the country have made clear that this type of eminent domain action should be heard in federal court. The next step for us there is we will be filing a motion for preliminary injunction that will go ahead and extend the temporary restraining order throughout the pendency of the case. And then we will be able to finally get to argue the merits of the case, which is that this is a pretext and that the town really has no authority to do this type of taking because the state of Rhode Island has not authorized it.
And I just want to make sure, I'm pretty sure I understand this, but I just want to have it crystal clear. While this is all still going on, we are not going to be expecting any affordable housing project like officially being built in that time frame. Or tell me a bit more about that.
So the affordable housing project does have to go through a formal review by the Johnston Planning Board. So, once we have the property back, we would go through that process. And it's a state mandated process.
Do you expect this to be a lengthy process? How soon do you think, we could see construction on the property if you guys win the case?
Well, construction on the property wouldn't happen for quite a while because even if we started today, I would say, at least a year. But we have to get through both state court and federal court before we even go through the application process.
And the last week has moved so quickly because the town went ahead and named itself the owner of the property. That's why we ended up filing the temporary restraining order and Kelly asked for a motion to stay and abate in state court to return the status quo, basically to just have things stop so that there is something to fight over by the time we actually get to court. If the town's actions were allowed to continue, there would have been nothing left to fight over but money by that point.
Have either of you ever seen a case move this quickly? I mean, back in January, the mayor tweeted out, "Here's my plan." Days later, it was in front of the town council. They signed off on it. A month and a half later, they said it's all buttoned up.
Yeah, so in my experience, when towns are looking to do something, it goes through a public process. Even if it's somewhat informal, the public knows about it. And oftentimes it's formal. There's commissions that are organized to find the right place and things like that. This was done very quickly and impulsively.
I want to give you guys an opportunity to respond to what the mayor has said directly about you as the attorneys in this case. His quote, and I'm quoting loosely here, was, "I don't think about them, I don't care about them, I care about the 30,000 people in Johnston." I want to give you guys an opportunity to respond to that.
That's fine with me. He doesn't have to think about me or care about me. I care about my clients. That's the whole reason why we filed this lawsuit. We believe in our clients' property rights. It's enshrined in the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution, and we want them to be able to use their property as the founders intended.
And certainly I'm not offended, but I think he was actually directing that at our clients who have been involved in owning property in Johnston for, you just heard it, years and years and generations. And some of the people that he's effectively trying to keep out of this property are Johnston residents. They're young people who are looking for homes to live in, to move out of their parents' basements. They're older people who are downsizing. He is, he's basically saying he doesn't care about my clients, but he also doesn't care about the residents of Johnston.
I had some questions for the other two gentlemen.
Yeah,
that were speaking.
absolutely.
If they want to come back up.
Sal, Ralph.
Sal, right?
You guys get a little closer together.
Sure.
all the way apart.
Sal, you were talking about, I think you said your father grew up, using this land recreationally.
Yes, he did.
And can I ask how long ago that was?
In the 30s. He was 95 when he passed away.
Which was?
Last year.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. And he grew up the street. There's 3 houses he built. One for himself, his sister, and his brother. 1/8 of a mile right up the street on George Waterman Road.
So your family's had a long-standing connection to this property specifically.
Yes. Yeah.
And then I think you mentioned, Ralph, that your fathers, I guess, together bought this property in the 80s.
Yes.
Was it their intention to always build housing here? Or, I mean, obviously most of it, I think, is undeveloped, right?
Right.
31 acres. Can you explain a little bit maybe why it's been sitting that way for so long?
They dreamed of building an apartment here. Well, what was it, in 1907?
2000.
Yeah, 2002. We
Right.
went in for a 60 unit right here. We were denied.
On what grounds?
Just denied.
They never explained
They
it.
never explained it. They said no. And that was then. And then you had to wait so many years to go back. And then we got busy in other areas. So we just let it sit.
What about now spoke to, we hear about escalating building costs, with the way the economy is these days, but we also hear about the demand for housing. Can you explain your thought process behind
I think
why
that's
now?
one of the reasons why we want to do a project like that, because of the problem here in the state of Rhode Island right now. I think we're one of the highest priced rental markets in the country now. And we try and build homes that are affordable. Most of our tenants, we have tenants that have been with us 15, 20 years. We know our tenants by their first name. His father used to drive by all the properties every day. If there was a piece of paper on the ground, there was a blade of grass that was not cut, it was done. We know our tenants, we manage our buildings, we're on site all the time. We're not absentee landlords. We see the need. It's a great place right here because we're on a bus route. We're close to the city of Providence. I mean, we want to make homes here that people can live and work in Johnston. Right now, you can work in Johnston but not live here. And that's the clear message we're getting from the mayor and the council. So I don't think that they're speaking to their residents. I don't think they're doing just by the residents here. And this is what we want to do. Young professionals today can't afford homes. Up to $60,000, you can't purchase something in the state of Rhode Island. It's even hard trying to afford a rent in Rhode Island right now. We have been doing this for a long time. Our rents are affordable. We can provide great homes for the people that need them in the state of Rhode Island.
I don't know
What
if
would the rents have been for this project?
It depends. They would probably run anywhere from about $1,850 to about $2,100.
and
that's
three
much-
bedrooms.
No 3 bedrooms.
No, 1 and 2.
1 and 2 bedrooms.
Okay.
And if you look around at the rental market in Rhode Island, that's extremely reasonable. And that's what we want to do.
And most of ours are with heat.
Do you have trouble in any other municipalities trying to do this kind of thing like this? I mean, has this been, or is this just Johnston issue right now?
It's always been for us at Johnston.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. I get that.
I wanted to ask a bit about the comments that we've heard from residents as well as the mayor about why not single-family homes. I guess that's my question to you.
Single-family homes would be too costly in this area for the market that we have here. And that's not going to speak to the problem in Rhode Island about affordable housing.
Right.
The homes would be $600,000, $700,000 and above. And that's not a starter home for anyone by any means, especially in our state. We don't have that kind of income in this state for something like that.
And if you were building those homes, it would be many less units than 250.
There'd be a few less units.
Yeah.
But one of the big problems that we keep on hearing again and again from the mayor and from the council, we don't want any more students in our school system.
Right.
And single-family homes traditionally would have much more students, because now you're talking 2, 3, and 4 bedroom homes.
Yeah.
You're talking families. Okay, here there are going to be some families. Okay, there'll probably be some children, but not very many. It has a less of an impact on the town. We're going to be constructing and we're going to be maintaining the roads. We're going to be maintaining all the maintenance as far as rubbish removal and things of that, snow plowing. That's all less of a burden on this town itself.
Wow.
The mayor has also described you all as wealthy developers that people should not worry about.
No,
Want to respond to that?
well, I think everybody's rights need to be worried about, right? We're certainly not wealthy land developers. Okay, we work with blood, sweat, and tears every day. My father came from Italy with nothing. He was an immigrant. He taught us this was the greatest place to live. He taught us about education, and that's all he stressed with us. And he stressed hard work with us. That's what we do every day of the week. All we're trying to do is make a living, okay, and provide affordable homes. We don't build apartments. We build apartment homes where people feel comfortable and want to come.
Ralph, you mentioned the feeling of a gut punch. Sal, I wanted to ask how you felt when.
Same way.
Yeah.
Same way. It hurt. You see your father's dream, and we can't get there. That's all I can say. We tried so many times, and we have the land. That's what hurts. It's here.
We're not in the middle of a neighborhood. We're on a main road. We have industrial buildings all around us. This is going to change the area and make it more invitable for everybody in the city of Johnston. We're going to transform this into a much needed homes for the people of Johnston.
We were thinking of a nice walking path right along the water after it's all cleaned up with benches. We had pictures of this.
Did we get those pictures?
Yeah, I think we got them.
Yeah, we should
The
have
original
those.
in
Yeah.
2000.
I think we got that.
I got that.
I don't know if that's going to be a public room, but
Do you agree with the assessed value of all this entire land for
You know, I think I'm going to let our lawyers speak to that.
Yeah,
I don't think that. I think it's too premature. I mean, I can't think beyond that. On Friday, I was presented with a piece of paper that I no longer owned a piece of property that's been in my family for generations. I gotta be honest with you. I'm still digesting and processing that. I can't get over that.
People keep asking us, can they do that?
Yeah.
Is that legal? How can they steal it?
You've mentioned the struggles over the years to get projects started here in Johnston. What keeps you fighting so hard to do this here rather than just giving up and trying somewhere else?
It's our passion. If we give up, everybody else is going to give up, aren't they? That's not the American way. You fight hard, you do what you're supposed to do, and you try and do it the right way. And if you do the right thing every day, you get ahead. Something comes of it.
We bought it for that reason. Now, what do we do with it if we can't build what we want with it?